Hello friends, welcome back. Hearty welcome to you. In this session, let us look at formal definition of limit and try to understand how to prove that a function is having limit from the definition. So first, before going ahead with the definition, let's try to recap what discussion we had in the last session. In the last session, we discussed that a function f of x is said to be having a limit at x equal to a if we observe that as we are moving either from left hand side or the right hand side towards the value x equal to a, we see that the function is limiting to a value L. Then we say that the function is having limit at that particular value, that is x equal to a, and it is nothing but equal to L. So this is the definition we had in the last session. Now we are saying that as x is moving towards a, so when I am saying x is moving towards a, how closure, or from where you are taking this and you are moving towards here, right? So how closure you are moving, that closure is nothing but given by delta in x-axis or with respect to x, and the closure how much is given by epsilon in f of x or y direction. Okay, now let's look at the definition and see how we can understand that. The definition goes like this: given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that mod of fx minus L is less than epsilon whenever 0 less than mod of x minus a less than delta. Now for the first time the definition seems to be a little bit different, may not be easy to understand, but let us try to understand it. So what we will see, we will try to understand what exactly is the meaning of this. What exactly is the meaning of 0 less than mod of x minus L less than delta, and what is the meaning of f of x minus L mod of f of x minus L is less than epsilon. Okay, for that what I will do, okay, I will repeat again. What we are saying is, given there is an epsilon greater than 0, there always exists a delta greater than 0 such that if 0 less than mod of x minus L less than delta, then f of x minus L mod of f of x minus L will be less than epsilon. Okay, that is the definition. We will try to understand the definition. Before that, we want to focus on these two and try to understand what exactly is the meaning of that. Okay, to understand that, what I will do, I will see what exactly is the meaning of 0 less than mod of x minus a less than delta. So what is the meaning of that? Let's try to understand. Let us say on number line I have taken a minus delta, I have taken a, I have taken a plus delta. Okay, now I want to understand what exactly is the meaning of mod of x 0 less than mod of x minus a, 0 less than mod of x minus a less than delta. What exactly is the meaning of that? Okay, now let us say that the x is between a minus delta to a. Now what happens in this case? In this case, x minus a is negative. You know that mod function will make it positive. So mod of x minus a is nothing but equal to minus of x minus a, because mod function will convert negative to positive. So what is the meaning of that we got? We got 0 less than minus of x minus a less than delta. So can I write it as 0 greater than x minus a greater than minus delta? And what I have done, whenever you multiply with minus, you have to make less than as greater than. Now I want to make this as x, so I will add a, that will give me a greater than x greater than a minus delta, or can I write it as a minus delta is less than x less than a. What is the meaning of that? The meaning is that if x is between a minus delta to a, I can write it as 0 less than mod of x minus a less than delta. So this satisfies the first condition. Now let us look at that. Suppose the x is between a and a plus delta. Now let us see. Now 0 less than x minus a less than delta. When x is more than a, x minus a is positive. If x minus a is positive, then it will become mod of x minus a equal to x minus a only. So it will become 0 less than x minus a less than delta. If you add a, it will give you a less than x less than a plus delta. So is this nothing but saying that x will be between a minus delta to a plus delta? If you add club both of this, what we are saying, a minus delta less than x less than a, and after that we are saying a less than x less than a plus delta. Can I say this as a minus delta less than x less than a plus delta and x not equal to a? Or can I say it better as open bracket a minus delta to a plus delta x not equal to a? So what we understood now is that the meaning of 0 less than mod of x minus a less than delta is nothing but equal to x is between a minus delta to a plus delta, but x is not equal to a. Similarly, what will be the meaning of f of x minus l less than epsilon is nothing but the meaning will be f of x will be between l minus epsilon and l plus epsilon, and f of x not equal to l. So you can see that the definition is in line with our understanding. Our understanding is if you go closer and closer to a, your f of x should go closer to l. So that is what we are saying here, that if x is between a minus delta to a minus delta and a plus delta, then f of x will be between l minus epsilon and l plus epsilon. So this is just nothing but another way of stating our understanding whatever we had earlier. Only the thing is we are saying closure. Now what is the meaning of closure? For that closure we are giving that delta on x and epsilon on f of x. So next we will see how to solve the problem if they ask us that prove by delta epsilon approach that a function is having a limit at a particular point, let us say x equal to a. How to do that we will see with a simple example. Let's look at this example. Limit 2x plus 3 as x tends to 3 is equal to 9. We have to prove that the function will have limiting value equal to 9. Now how to prove that? For that what we will do, we'll try to plot this. You know that this is nothing but y equal to mx plus c. So x equal to 0, I have y equal to 3. X equal to 1, I have y equal to 5. X equal to 2, I have y equal to 7. And x equal to 3, I have y equal to 9. So the straight line looks like that. So let me just try to join it. That's the straight line we have if I join it correctly. Okay. So this is the equation 2x plus 3 equal to 9. Okay. As x move towards 3, we want to prove that the limit exists here. For that what we will do, we know the conditions what we have to prove? We have to, what we are saying is, for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta such that 0 less than mod of x minus a is less than delta, then mod of f of x minus L is less than epsilon. So this is what we have to prove. Now the key point to understand whenever you have to prove by delta epsilon approach is to find out a relation between delta and epsilon. So what we will do is, actually we'll start from fx minus L less than epsilon and we will go towards x minus a less than delta, so that we can get a relationship between epsilon and delta. Now once we got the relationship, then we will go ahead with the proof. Let us see how we can do that. First I will take fx minus L less than epsilon. What is our f of x? 2x plus 3 minus L is 9 less than epsilon. Now this is nothing but equal to 2x minus 6 is less than epsilon. Can I write 2x minus 6 as 2 into mod of x minus 3 less than epsilon? And you can see that we have started with function and we have approached x minus a. This is nothing but a equal to 3 here. Now I want this to be in the form of x minus a less than delta. So I will divide by 2 and I will say x minus 3 less than epsilon by 2. So this is in the form of x minus 3 less than delta. So I will take delta equal to epsilon by 2. So this is approach we will follow. What we will do, this is important. We start from f of x minus L less than epsilon and try to convert that into the form of x minus a less than some constant value. Once you got that constant value in terms of epsilon, take that is equal to delta, then we will go ahead with the proof. Now let's see how we will prove this. So remember this, we got a delta equal to epsilon by 2. So our proof starts now. So I will say proof, I will say for every epsilon greater than 0, let delta equal to epsilon by 2. We will say that we have to prove if 0 less than x minus a, that is nothing but x minus 3 is less than delta, then I have to prove, if you remember, f of x, that is nothing but 2x plus 3. I have to prove 2x plus 3 minus 9. I have to prove that this is less than sigma. Okay, let us see how I will do. I will now say that this is nothing but equal to f of x minus L is equal to 2x minus 6, that's nothing but equal to 2 into mod of x minus 3, that is nothing but equal to, now what is mod of x minus 3? Mod of x minus 3 is less than delta. So can I say less than 2 delta? That is nothing but less than 2 delta is nothing but 2 into delta is nothing but epsilon by 2. So 2 cancels, this is nothing but less than epsilon. So this is how you prove. But if you remember, the key is to get the relation between delta and epsilon. You have to select the relation in such a way that the values of x between 3 minus delta and 3 plus delta will be, for those values f of x will be between L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon. So that is how we have to prove it. I will repeat here how we have done. We have been asked to say limit of 2x plus 3 extends to 3 equal to 9. So we know that We already established the relation between delta and epsilon. We know that delta equal to epsilon by 2 I should take. So I will start the proof. I will say for every epsilon greater than 0, let delta equal to epsilon by 2. Then what we have to prove is if 0 less than x minus L less than delta, we have to prove that f of x minus L is less than epsilon. For that, what we will do? We will take f of x minus L, that is nothing but 2x plus 3 minus 9, that is equal to 2x minus 6, that is nothing but 2 into x minus 3. But you know mod of x minus 3 is less than delta, that so I can say instead of equal to 2x minus 3, 2 into x minus 3, I can say less than 2 delta. But 2 delta is nothing but equal to epsilon. So that's how we can prove it. Now you can take any value of epsilon and delta, you can cross check that the f of x will be between that only. Let us have a look at that, how it looks like. Let us say the relation we have to take is delta equal to epsilon by 2, and we are talking about 2x plus 3 as x tends to 3 equal to, okay, let us say epsilon equal to 4. If epsilon equal to 4, delta will be nothing but equal to 2. So I will have on x-axis we are talking about the value here is 3 and the value here is 9. X is 3. Okay. Now what is the delta we have taken? Delta equal to 2. So this will be 1 and this will be nothing but equal to 5. So check what is the value of f of 1. F of 1 is nothing but 2 plus 3, that is nothing but equal to 5. And what is the value of f of 5? F of 5 is nothing but 2 into 5 plus 3, that is nothing but equal to 13. So now what is our sigma we have taken? Sigma is nothing but 13. So sigma is nothing but 4. So 9. So you can see that now the sigma is nothing but 4. So this becomes 9 plus 4, 13. This is 9 minus 4, 5. So you can see that the values of the delta lie between if the values of delta are between 1 and 5, let us say the values of a is between 1 and 5. So this is a minus delta and this is a plus delta. Then you have here this is L plus epsilon and this is L minus epsilon. What we have done is we have taken epsilon equal to 4. If I take epsilon equal to 4, L minus epsilon is, oh yeah, actually this is L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon. L minus epsilon will be 5 and L plus epsilon will be 13. So what will be delta values? Values will be delta equal to epsilon by 2, that is equal to 2. So this becomes 1 and 5. Now you can check for 1 what is the value you have? 5. For 5 what is the value you have? That is nothing but equal to 13. So you can see that for the values between 1 and the values of x, if they are between a minus delta and a plus delta, you can see that f of x values are between L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon. That is how you can prove it. Now what we have to remember is very simple. We have to start from f of x minus L less than epsilon and we have to move towards x minus L less than delta. That will give you relation between delta and epsilon. Then once you got it, then you can go ahead with the proof and say that 0 less than x minus 3 less than delta, then prove that f of x minus L is less than epsilon. So in the next session we will solve some more examples, starting from simple examples to little bit intermediate level example, just on this particular topic, delta epsilon approach, and how to prove that the limit exists at a particular value. Thanks for your time. Bye for now. See you again in the next session.